our countdown is a recent entry to the list, the 2023 Grundy Center football team. We may not have yet reached the pinnacle of the Grundy Center football dynasty, but thus far, the 2023 season stands out among their 3 straight titles. That season, they finished the second of what is currently 3 straight perfect seasons. A 7-6 win over Dyke New Hartford in the season opener was only the start of a monstrous offensive season. They averaged 35 points per game, never allowing any opponent to score more than 14 points in any game. 5 opponents held without a touchdown. The Spartans' postseason run was especially impressive, winning their postseason games by an average of 35 points. And in the quarterfinals, semis, and championship, they outscored teams by a combined 122-7, including a 42-0 running clock championship game win over MFL Marmac, matching the largest margin of victory in a 1A championship in Iowa history. There are already 7 players from that team who are just at the start of their college football careers, including 2 on Division I teams and a whole lot more who are trying to continue Grundy's championship tradition this coming season. The 2023 Grundy Center football team is our number 25 prep team of the century. And number 24, the first of a handful of Xavier teams on this list, the 2013 Xavier girls soccer team. The Saints have won 10 state titles this century, but the 2013 squad stands out among the rest. The last of Xavier's 8 straight championship teams. That season, the Saints went 19-1 with 11 shutout wins. They outscored teams at the state tournament 13-1, including a 5-0 shutout of Sioux City East in the state title match. Their 13 goals scored at state are still a 2A tournament record. Kayla Armstrong was second across all classes with 48 goals scored, and Sammy Shepard led the entire state in assists. A fitting conclusion to a true dynasty. The 2013 Xavier girls soccer team is our number 24 prep team of the century. Running into number 23 on our countdown of the best prep teams from the last 25 years is the 2020 Kennedy softball team. They hold a unique place in Eastern Iowa history. The Cougars remain the only Eastern Iowa high school over the last 25 years to win a softball state title in Iowa's largest class size. In that summer, cut short by the COVID-19 pandemic, the Cougars made hay while the sun shone. 27 games played, a final record of 26 wins and 1 loss, ending the season on a 19-game winning streak. Pitching and defense was elite. 17 shutouts in those 27 games played. In the circle, their aces, Kaylin Kinney and Jamie Scheck, both went on to play Division I softball. At the plate, another D1 player, Maya Dodge, led an offense that averaged 8 runs a game and cranked out 41 home runs and outscored their state tournament opponents by a margin of 24-5. A dominant team that lives in Cougar history, the 2020 Kennedy softball team is our number 23 prep team of the century. And number 22, the 2010 Iowa City West girls track team. The end of a dynasty that won 4 state titles in 5 years. After winning 3 Drake Relays flags, the Trojans put up 91 points at the state meet, 24 points ahead of second place, at the time the largest margin of victory in 4A history. They won 6 events at state, 4 wins by superstar Jessica Gerke, 13 distinct all-state honors. They broke 3 meet records and 1 all-time record, one of the most dominant girls track and field teams in Iowa history. 2010 Iowa City West is our number 22 prep team of the century. Our number 21 prep team of the century will be defending its state title this fall, the 2024 Mount Vernon volleyball team. There are a couple of Mustang volleyball squads that could have made the list, but 2024 gets the edge thanks to one of the best volleyball players in Iowa history, Chloe Meester. She led Mount Vernon to the first outdoor volleyball win in Iowa history, then with a 45-4 record, led her team to a 3A state title. Meester will play volleyball at National Powerhouse Louisville. Sydney Maui will be in the SEC at Arkansas. Sydney Huber is going to play Division I basketball. At least one more from that team will play college volleyball, not to mention some juniors and sophomores will likely be on college rosters in a couple of years. Huber led all players in Iowa with over 1,200 assists, and Meester was first in 3A with 575 kills and over 2,000 in her prep career. One of the most dominant volleyball teams we've seen in the last 25 years, the 2024 Mount Vernon volleyball team is our number 21 prep team of the century. And into the top 20 is the 2016 Benton softball team, the end of a legendary run of softball talent for the Bobcats. Amber Pfizer and Alyssa Wiebel, 4- and 5-time All-Staters respectively, leading Benton to a 3A state championship with a 44-2 record. A pair of one-run losses were the only blemishes on their resume. 2 of their state tournament games were ended by the mercy rule, outscoring opponents in Fort Dodge by a combined 30-1, ending the season on a 23-game winning streak. 23 games they scored 10 runs or more, and the pitching staff threw 36 shutouts. Pfizer went on to an incredible career at Minnesota, and Wiebel was a 4-year starter at Illinois State. A total of 7 players from that roster went on to play college sports. The 2016 Benton softball team is our number 20 prep team of the century. Number 19 on the countdown is the 2007-08 City High boys basketball team. The last boys hoops championship won by the Little Hawks. That team was led by a pair of All-Staters in Malcolm Moore and one of the best to ever suit up at the high school level, Matt Gatens. That year's team went 28-1, with their only loss coming to the eventual 3A champions, Dubuque Wahlert. Outside of that lone loss, only 5 games that season decided by 10 points or fewer. And at the state tournament, the Hawks won their 3 games by an average of 17 points, capped by a 10-point win over Davenport Central in the finals. Led by an all-time Iowa prep star in Gatens, the 2007-08 City High boys basketball team is our number 19 prep team of the century. Number 18 is the 2018 Xavier football team. Out of the Saints' 4 state titles this century, 2018 stands out, if for no other reason than the sheer amount of talent on that roster. 2 future Hawkeyes, Ethan Herkett and Quinn Schulte, were on that team. They were just 2 of 11 players that season to earn All-State recognition. 7 of those were first-team 4A All-State honorees, and 5 went on to play Division I football. The Saints were undefeated that fall, scoring 40 or more points 9 times that season. Their defense had 5 shutouts and held 10 opponents to 7 points or less. The second of back-to-back undefeated seasons for the Saints. They won their final 3 playoff games by an average of 24 points, including a 14-point win over Western Dubuque in the 4A championship. One of the best football teams we've seen in Eastern Iowa over the last couple of decades, the 2018 Xavier football team is our number 18 prep team of the century. The number 17 prep team from the last 25 years is the 2011-2012 Iowa City West girls basketball team. Without question, one of the best our state has seen at the tournament in the 21st century. The Trojans went 25-1 that season. Their only loss was to the eventual 3A champs from Davenport Assumption. 3 All-State honors on that team, including a pair of future Division I players in Mackenzie Piper and Allie Disterhoff. During the regular season, they won 10 games by 30 points or more. For the whole season, their average win margin was over 27 points. An overtime win over Ankeny delivered the team their first state title in program history. The 2011-12 Iowa City West girls basketball team is our number 17 prep team of the century. And number 16, another entry from the Saints, the 2008 Xavier boys track team. The second of 2 straight state title winning teams for the Saints. That spring, they scored 100.5 points at the state meet, 48 more than second place, the first team in Iowa history to score over 100 points at state, and they remain one of only 3 teams to ever eclipse triple figures at the state meet. They specialized in the sprints with Derek Kramer and Bryce Colston, winning the Open 1 and 2 and the 4x1 and 4x2, 4 event wins at the Blue Oval, and 11 events finishing with all-state honors. 3 runners on that team went on to compete at the Division I level. One of the most dominant all-around teams ever to compete at Drake Stadium, the 2008 Xavier boys track team is our number 16 prep team of the century. The number 15 prep team of the century and the best softball team in our countdown, the 2009 Clear Creek Amana softball team. A perfect 45-0 season, the first team to complete an unbeaten season in 32 years in Iowa, and no other team has done it since. Perfection, nearly impossible in Iowa high school softball, but the Clippers pulled it off behind 8 players who earned all-state honors, at least 3 of whom went on to play Division I softball. Not a single run allowed during their state tournament run, capped by a 3-0 win over Carlisle in the 3A championship. One of the most impressive seasons in Iowa high school softball history, the 2009 CCA softball team is our number 15 prep team of the century. And number 14 is the 2007-08 Waverly Shell Rock Wrestling Team. The best wrestling team on the countdown, that year's Go Hawk team made history at the state meet, scoring 225 points, 85 points ahead of second place. At that point, they were the first team to ever clear 200 points at state, and that number is still the second most in Iowa history. 4 individual state champions, including Jake and Mark Ballweg, who both would go on to wrestle for the Hawkeyes. They dominated state duels that year, their closest match coming in the finals with a 14-point win. 13 wrestlers sent to the state tournament, and 11 of them finished in the top 4, a team that's been inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. The 2007-08 Waverly Shell Rock Wrestling Team is our number 14 prep team of the century. At number 13 on our prep team of the century countdown is the 2012-13 Iowa City West boys basketball team, one of 5 state titles for Steve Bergman's boys this century. In 2013, the Trojans finished off the second of 2 straight perfect 26-0 seasons. One of the rarest feats in high school basketball history. They are one of only 3 schools this entire century among all classes to complete 2 straight perfect seasons. Behind a pair of future UNI Panthers and Jeremy Morgan and Wyatt Lohaus, the Trojans coasted to an 18-point win in the championship game against Bettendorf, part of the 6th longest win streak in state history. The 2012-13 Iowa City West boys basketball team is our number 13 prep team of the century. And number 12 is the highest-ranked track team on our list, the 2007 North Tama girls track team. Part of a 4-year run of state champions for the Red Hawks, 2007 stands out for their 8 event titles that spring. Brooke Dinsdale, Blair Dinsdale, and Sarah Stokes doing most of the heavy lifting points-wise. Those 3 won 7 out of a possible 8 individual events. The 100-meter hurdles was the lone individual running event that North Tama did not win at state. 96 points at the state meet and a pair of Drake Relays wins, led by 3 runners who would go on to compete in the Big 12 and who still hold 3 1A state meet records. The 2007 North Tama girls track team is our number 12 prep team of the century. The top soccer team on our countdown coming in at number 11, the 2010 Iowa City West boys soccer team. The Trojans have won 9 state titles this century, but 2010 stands alone as the only season that they finish with a perfect 22-0 record. Since the turn of the century, they are one of only 3 teams in Iowa's largest class size to finish the year with an unblemished record. Led by 5 players who earned all-state honors, the Trojans opened that year's state tournament with an 8-0 victory and scored an incredible 13 goals through their 3 tourney wins, finishing with a 3-1 win over City High in the 3A championship. Brad Stiles has coached a lot of great teams at West, but no others that have achieved perfection. The 2010 Iowa City West boys soccer team is our number 11 prep team of the century. And entering the top 10, the 2009 City High football team, a team that holds a unique place in Eastern Iowa lore. The Little Hawks remain the last team outside of the Des Moines Metro to win a state title in Iowa's largest class size. That season, City High went 14-0, only 2 games decided by single digits. 6 games they scored 40 points or more, including the state championship where they beat Marshalltown 42-14. A.J. Derby, Ellis Jordan, John Shelf, Andrew McNulty, all major contributors, all went on to play Division I football, and Derby spent a few years playing in the NFL. The last of the program's 4 state football titles, the 2009 City High football team is our number 10 prep team of the century. Our number 9 prep team of the century is one that still is revered in Iowa prep basketball lore, the 2002-03 Waterloo East boys basketball team. Led by a pair of players who went on to impressive college careers, Mike Henderson and Carlton Reed guided the Trojans to a 25-1 record and a 4A state championship, the only boys state title the school has won in the last 35 years. At the state tournament, the Trojans dominated every round, winning each game by double digits, including a 20-point win over North Scott in the state title game. Reed was Mr. Basketball the following season and went on to play at Iowa and then UNI. Henderson was the Gatorade Player of the Year in 2003 before a productive career at Iowa, where he helped the Hawkeyes win a Big Ten title in 2006. One of our state's most legendary teams, the 2002-03 Waterloo East boys basketball team, is our number 9 prep team of the century. And number 8 came just a couple seasons prior, the 2001 Cedar Falls girls basketball team. One of the rare perfect seasons in the 21st century. The Tigers went 26-0 that winter, won a third straight conference title on their way to a 4A state championship. A pair of superstars on that team, Kim Hansen and Ellie Peterson, both earned first-team All-State honors. 5 players on that team earned either All-State or All-Conference honors. 3 went on to play Division I basketball. At the state tournament, the Tigers won all 3 games by 13 points or more. One of the great teams in our state's hoops history. The 2000-2001 Cedar Falls girls basketball team is our number 8 prep team of the century. 7 on our Team of the Century countdown still is part of an all-time Iowa record. The 2013 Regina football team, led by Marv Cook, this may have been the pinnacle of the Regal dynasty, the 4th of what would eventually become 6 straight football state titles. Regina had 8 players earn first or second team All-State honors, including 3 who eventually went on to play Division I football. Regina finished 14-0, part of an Iowa record 56-game winning streak. Their closest game of the season was still a 17-point victory. Their offense averaged 40 points a game, winning games by a 31-point margin of victory, and their defense had 5 shutouts, including a 35-0 win over St. Ed's in the 1A state title game. Hard to pick just one Regina team for this countdown, but the 2013 Regal football team is our number 7 prep team of the century. And number 6 is the best group of runners on our list, the 2001 Iowa City West girls cross country team, a group that still holds a number of state records. In 2001, the Trojans placed all 5 runners in the top 9 at the state championships, still the only team in Iowa to ever finish with 5 runners in the top 10. Their unfathomable score of 28 points is the lowest in Iowa history. Jenny Fruden was the state champion, breaking a course record. The Trojans placed 10th at the Nike National Championships, which is still the highest finish by an Iowa team in meet history. A team with talent that few could ever even dream of. The 2001 Iowa City West girls cross country team is our number 6 prep team of the century. Entering the top 5 on our countdown is the 2009-2010 Linn-Mar girls basketball team. The top girls hoops team on our list that winter, the Lions were perfect, 26-0, a squad loaded with upperclassmen experience. 4 players from that team would play college basketball, 2 at the Division I level. 1 will go down as one of Iowa's greatest all-time athletes, Kia Stokes. She'd go on to win 3 national titles at UConn and then a couple of WNBA titles with the Aces, but as a Lion, she was unstoppable, averaging 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game during that junior season. Over that 26-game stretch, Linn-Mar only had 6 games decided by single digits, and in the title game went all defense in a 38-35 win, one of the lowest scoring championship games in the 5-on-5 era. The last girls team in any sport to win a state title for the Lions, the 2009-2010 Linn-Mar girls basketball team, is our number 5 prep team of the century. And number 4, another entry where it's nearly impossible to distinguish one individual season from the next, but for the purposes of this list, we'll take the 2001 Wahlert volleyball team. In the early 2000s, Wahlert was in the midst of a stretch where they'd win 6 straight volleyball state titles, the first 4 under legendary coach Tom Keating. And over those first 4 years of the 21st century, Wahlert had a stretch of winning 140 consecutive games against in-state competition. Their only losses came at the Nike Challenge in Chicago against some of the best volleyball teams in the country. In 2001, the Eagles were 41-1 overall, winning a 3A state title. Keep in mind, this was still in just a 3-class system, so a lot of their competition was against schools maybe 2 to 3 times bigger than themselves. 3 first-team All-State selections from that team. Katie Conan, Stephanie May, and Rachel Rogers each went on to incredible Division I careers, led by one of Iowa's all-time great coaches in Keating. The 2001 Wahlert volleyball team is our number 4 prep team of the century. We've gotten into some of the most elite squads on our countdown of the best Eastern Iowa high school teams of the last 25 years, and at number 3 is the 2010-11 Linn-Mar boys basketball team, one of the last 4A teams to complete a perfect 26-0 season. Through the entire year, only 3 games decided by fewer than 10 points. Their average margin of victory was close to 30 points a night, and a dominant performance at the state tournament, winning each game at the Well by at least 14 points, and a 56-42 win over Hoover in the 4A state championship. Some outrageous talent on that squad. 3 future Division I players. Matt Bohannon went on to great things at UNI, and Marcus Page, maybe the best basketball player the Metro's ever produced, a McDonald's All-American, a 2-time All-American at UNC, and it's been a season in the NBA. A special year in Marion, and the 2010-11 Linn-Mar boys basketball team is our number 3 prep team of the century. Number 2 on our list is the 2009 Solon football team. The end of one of the greatest football careers in Iowa history, James Morris helped lead the Spartans to a 3rd straight state title and a 3rd straight perfect season. Not a single game on their 14-game schedule was even remotely close. 26 points was the closest game of the season. Their offense averaged 45 points a game. Their defense never gave up more than 15 points. 5 shutouts throughout the season, and 12 of their 14 games had a running clock in the second half. Even in their run to the 2A title, none of their playoff games was within a 29-point margin. 3 future Power 5 conference players on that team, including Morris and Marshall Kane, who had strong careers at Iowa, and both would go on to play in the NFL. Yes, Morris was the straw that stirred the drink, but that team was loaded top to bottom with outstanding talent. The 2009 Solon football team is our number 2 prep team of the century. Our number 1 team of the century, the apex of the absolute best from Eastern Iowa over the last 25 years, the 2023 Dike New Hartford volleyball team. Ending the season with a perfect record is something that few volleyball teams could even dream of. You played dozens of matches throughout the season against some of the best teams in Iowa and many times some of the best in the Midwest. But 2023's D&H volleyball team took on all comers and still came out unscathed, ending the season with a perfect 50-0 record. They were the first team in the state to complete an unblemished season since they themselves were perfect in both the 2012 and 2013 seasons. But the Wolverines were more than just a team that didn't lose a match all season. They only lost 1 set the entire year, and that was to a Dowling team that was a finalist in Class 5A. Their record by set that year was 110 wins and only that 1 loss. And they weren't just playing scrubs. 32 of their wins were against teams that qualified for the state tournament, including 6 of the 8 teams in the 5A bracket. 3 players from that Wolverine team are now playing Division I volleyball. Jaden Peterson and Maren Bixby are at UNI, and Peyton Peterson is at Louisville, where, as a sophomore, she's currently leading the number 6 team in the country in kills, a team that finished the year ranked number 14 in the country and is in the discussion as one of the best volleyball teams in Iowa high school history. The 2023 Dike New Hartford volleyball team is our number 1 prep team of the century.
That's all for sports tonight.